Alrighty, so I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to do the rhinestone cup. We are trying to recreate this. This is a 32 ounce, I believe it's called a plump. So I did all around, I did the bottom, I have my sticker. I'm going to seal just the sticker with epoxy or sealant. But other than that, I don't want to seal the rhinestones because it does dull the shine and it creates like a weird look to the rhinestones. So that's what we're going to recreate. We need your tumbler, gloves. As you can see, mine are a little bit black. I'll explain why in a minute. You'll need a damp cloth, your rhinestones. I got these from Amazon. They are 5 milliliters or 20 SS. You'll need your wax pen, E6000. Some of them come with a tip that look like this. Okay. And you will need a sanding block. So, oh, and masking tape, because the E6000 does drip when you're working with it. So I always put, you know, a couple strips down on my desk so that, you know, it can drip on that tape and it doesn't ruin my desk. But anyway, so your first step to do is to take your tumbler and you're going to sand it so that it is prepped. Mine is almost fully there. When you're sanding, you want to sand it until it is completely like rough looking. You don't want really much of a shine, or the original shine. You're still going to get a little bit of shine. And you also want to sand until you get, or you smell that metal smell, because that means you broke the seal, and that's what we want. We want to prep these cups when we're really doing anything with them so that things stick to it a lot better and they don't just end up peeling off later on. But, yeah, so when you go around the rim, you just kind of do a circular motion. So you like that up, down, and you just keep going around the cup until you get the look and the smell that you're looking for. It's pretty rough look, pretty, you know, you can't really miss the smell. You know what I'm talking about. So this cup kind of looks a little bit dull. When you're sanding, the reason I wear gloves is because you get that black stuff all over your hands. And for me, even after like I scrubbed my hands, sometimes like it's still on there a little bit. And I don't like you can smell it as well, so I don't like that. So I like to wear gloves. It helps. All right, so you take your gloves off. Twist my ring back around. Okay, take your gloves off. You're gonna use your damp cloth now. Just kind of clean that bad boy up. Okay, you also need a dry cloth too, obviously, so you can dry your cup off when you're done wiping it down and getting the damp stuff off. You want to get it really dry. It's probably a good idea to have a dry paper towel as well, so that every now and again, like if you have a tip that came with your glue, you can wipe it off. Sometimes it gets kind of gunked up. So alrighty, so I'll put my tape down. Move this over here. I just do 2 quick strips. All right, I'm gonna get some of my gems out. Saw a really cool one where they left the bottom like revealed. What I mean by that is, instead of like putting the crystals all the way down here, they left this open. I guess I should have thought about that before I sanded that part, but anyway. So you have your little crystals. I'm not sure if I can get that to, here, let me try and do it like this. There we go. So you have your little crystals. See if I can get that to focus. Nope, I'm not gonna do it today. Anyway, so they're very tiny. This is obviously the wax pen that picks it up. They pick them up very easily. And what you wanna do is, I'll be out in a minute. Can I get you here glue? I start from the bottom. Because I don't have a tip, or well, the tip doesn't fit on this one, I squeeze a very little bit. I go along the rim, just like that. And then to kind of even that out, I do use the tip to kind of move it around a little bit. You want to kind of use like a little bit of a generous amount, but not like too generous, you know what I mean? Like you don't want it to like suffocate your crystal when you place it. So get your wax pen and you just place it just like that. And you keep going until you've gotten all the way around the cup. At a few spots. I've noticed, I don't know if everybody who's done these rhinestone cups gets the same thing happening, but sometimes when you get all the way around, you'll have like a spot that's a little bit too wide or too thin. If it's too wide, you just, you know, you space out your pieces a little bit better. And then if it is too thin, I just kind of like layer them a little bit, if that makes sense. So maybe I can find a spot like that on this cup, this other cup, and show you. You can kind of see it. Okay, there's a good spot. So right here on this cup, okay, I guess it's too sparkly in the camera to see, but this crystal right here is actually elevated. I'm not sure, yeah, you can't see it, but it's, yeah, it's, you know, there's, it just kind of like overlaps it a tiny bit. But yeah, anyway, so that's, you know, a first little tiny row. And then when you want to move to the next one, I personally don't like to line them all up, because then there's like a space in between them. So what I do is I put them in between stones. I'm not quite sure if that makes sense, but I'll show you what I mean. There's a couple of these. These cups take a long time to make, so if you don't have patience, or if you're super back ordered, you don't want to take an order like this, or you want to set the expectation high that they do take a long time to make. So I'm gonna do that. All right, not sure if you can tell. Let's see if I can get this to focus. All right, so it's kind of focusing. There we go. So if you look, you have the two here, and then you put the one in between. So essentially, let's get a piece of paper. I'll draw this a little bit bigger for you. Let's just say you have a row of crystals. I'm going to draw this out in case that didn't focus too well. Let's just say you have a row of crystals like that. You want to go on to the next row. I can't seem to draw even circles. You want to put them on in between like this. So in between these cracks between the two original. And that prevents it from creating something like this. Okay, so if you have, you know, it organized like OCD straight, you're gonna have these gaps in between each stone. And it's gonna be a waste of space. It's going to look probably pretty weird. So you don't want that. You want it to be as organized as possible, looking like this. And then when you're done, after about depending on the size of your cup. I want to say 6 to 8 hours. You'll have a cup that looks like this. This particular one took me, I know like this first little section took me about 2 hours. I think it was a little bit less than that. It might have been like right there. But this took me 2 hours. The rest of this did take me at least 9. And then for this particular one, I used 3 bags. I believe the bags come in packs of like 14, that doesn't say it on here, 1,440 pieces. So that's what comes in this bag. I used 2 and maybe less than a quarter of a bag of this bag for this particular cup for the 32 ounce. If you use something smaller, you probably just use the 2 bags, but that should be it. And then, you know, you got yourself a pretty awesome tumbler. Price wise, I've seen people sell them for about $165. I mean, don't discredit yourself. You spent hours creating this, or you're going to spend hours creating this thing. And the crystals alone, I think these are like $10 a bag. So if you use 2 bags, that's $20. Between $20, you spend whatever you spend on your tumblers. Sometimes it's, you know, at most $10. But, you know, that's, let's say $30 just for, you know, this, and then, you know, your time. So whatever your regular pricing is, you want to add, you know, a good pretty penny to that. So I haven't come up with a price with this one because of that. My 30-ounce tumblers typically run, I dropped a few of these. My 30-ounce tumblers run, or they start at 50. This particular one, 30-ounce plump, let's see, I charge $60 for the 30-ounce plump. So, I mean, that's just for one of these, like glitter ombre, you know, decal kind of thing. But obviously I want to add some to this. So at minimum, this is going to be maybe $100, $120, and that's like literally bottom dollar. I'm probably gonna charge close to $200 for something like this. And it's mainly because I spent so much time on it, and it's worth it. And a lot of people will buy it. Don't let them discourage you and say, well, that's too much. They're not your customer if that's the case. So anyway, I hope you liked that tutorial, and that is very helpful. If you have any more questions, you can reach out. And yeah, thanks.